twist, and thank God I get to do another Raw recap and review. This one is from 10th, 2026 from Dallas, Texas. And if you enjoy WWE content like this, you should subscribe to the channel. Every week we do a Raw recap and review, and for every PLE we do a review. And also on this channel we do WWE 2K26 content as well. We finished up the CM Punk showcase, and we're now working on the My Rise. Now let's move on to our first segment of Raw, and it involves Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, they pop out into the ring. Paul Heyman does the whole spiel, you know what I'm saying? I'm the advocate. You know, he says, I'm introducing the beast of the Brocktagon. Hilarious, by the way. And he goes on to point out that there are police officers in front of the stage because, and he says that Obafemi is obsessed with Brock Lesnar because he is dumb enough to turn down title opportunities in order to fight him. He said he's so dumb. He calls him the biggest dummy. And he says, you know, usually people, they talk about Brock and everything, they get hit and then they chill out. But Oba is the only one to not back down, and that genuinely scares Paul. That genuinely scares Paul Heyman. He took call of Brock and be like, oh yeah, I can't wait to fight Oba. I can't wait to fight Oba. And he says, you know, he got a restraining order against Oba also, so that's why he can't pull up on them. And plus, he has the police to enforce that. At least but the funny enough, the cops just walk into the ring. Oba gets out on the ape, gets into the ring. And he says, you know, I came out here for a fight, but before we get straight to it, I need to ask you, Paul, what you doing here with all these cops, man? Explain that. He says, well, Heyman says, you know, the cops are here to do their job, and you're breaking your restraining order, so cops, go ahead and handle that. And he leaves the ring with Brock Lesnar. Oba proceeds to give the cops belt to ass. He beats them all up, picks them up, does the throw suplex into all of them in the outside, and then he goes on with to get the mic and talk to Brock and Paul, who are on the stage. And he says, you know, Brock, what happened to the real you? This isn't you. Like, where's the beast? Like, that I used to know, like, who used to run WWE. Like, all you do now is just run around. And he said, that SummerSlam, though, you can't run anymore. You can't run away from the ruler, the king of the ring. You can't run away from Oba Femi. I can't wait for this match. And it's Hell in a Cell. It gotta be some blood involved. It gotta be. But the number one question with Oba and Brock is, is it going to main event? Because you got Roman, Seth, and you got Punk, Cody. Championship matches, but we in Brock hometown. So is it gonna close one of the nights? I don't know, but I can't wait to see. But then we get into our first match of the night. It is Io Sky versus Roxanne Perez with the rest of the Judgment Day with her. She got Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan with her. Start the match off with a tie between them, rolling back and forth. Roxanne gets her in the corner, jumps on top of the top rope, and then pulling her hair down. But Io gets her off of her, and then hits her with a big Thesz press, like Stone Cold, bringing her down. Punches. And then she lifts up and does a knee stomp onto her, goes for the pin, but a kick out from Roxanne. After that, they top again, but Io gets her arm, gets a little arm manipulation, wrenching down on it, and then tries to hit her with a big slam, but Roxanne reverses out of that and hits her with a big slap, and then grabs her by the hair. But then Io grabs her by the hair. They get a separation of that. Io dodges a punch, does it to the cartwheel, drop down, leg sweep onto her, and then tries to hit her with a move, but Roxanne reverses that into a pin combo. Io reverses that pin combo to her own pin, kick out from Roxanne again, and then Roxanne goes on to hit her with a kick to the stomach, hits the rope, tries to run towards her, but Io Sky hits her with a missile drop kick standing. At least Roxanne going outside the ring. Io's getting the crowd hyped. She's trying to go for the suicide dive, but boom! Big punch by Roxanne stops her on her tracks. They're now fighting on the apron. Roxanne picks her up, tries to go for a suplex, but Io fights out of it and says, nah, my turn. Grabs her, hits her with a big power slam right on the apron. Nasty. At least the Roxanne going down to the ground. Io then goes for the moonsault to the outside, the acai moonsault. She gets her up, throws her into the ring. Now she's finna do a springboard, but Liv Morgan distracts her. At least the Roxanne getting her, pulling her down on the apron, which is the hardest part of the ring, by the way, kayfabe wise. And then jumps off the rope into a big stump onto Io's leg, and that's gonna be important for the rest of the match. But right now we're going on to the commercial break. After that, Roxanne and Io are fighting on the top rope back and forth, but Roxanne gets the advantage by doing a big leg sweep to Io, and then that leads her into a trio well position. Her knee is stuck. That leads to Roxanne doing multiple kicks to her leg back and forth. And then while she's still in position, she runs on the other side, runs back with a big uppercut into her. Then she tried to do her little jump springboard action moonsault on her, but that gets reversed by Io Sky by putting her knees up. Then Io finally gets her a comeback in, hits her with the Shote uppercut, and then picks her up for a big flapjack. Then she goes for that pinning combo roll through. You know what that means. Get to the big double stump right there, and then picks her up for the butterfly backbreaker. Boom! But on the injured leg, so she got to wait a little bit before they go for the pin. 1, 2. Kick out from Roxanne. That leaves Io then jumping through the rope. Big kick to Roxanne on the apron. She goes to the top rope. Hits the missile drop kick. Does the flip over. Kip up. Right into the tries to go for the bullet train, but that gets reversed by Roxanne. She gets out the way and she jumps. She has her arm and jumps off the rope into a big arm drag, knock her down right into a calf crusher on the injured leg. She's wrenching on it, but Io Sky finds a way to get out of it and put her into a crossface. And as Roxanne's fighting at it, as she gets out, but Io still holds her arm right into a big knee. It was nasty. I know a tooth a little loose or something. Leads to Io then trying to go to the top rope to go for the moonsault, but we get more shenanigans. Judgment Day get on the apron. At least Roxanne trying to get a roll up on the Io Sky. She does it, but Io does a reversal of that roll up into her own roll up. 1, 2, 3. Big W for Io Sky. She gets the win off of that. I give this match a good 4 stars. Good back and forth. Everyone got to get their moves in. It was looking bad for Io Sky, but she has the hero comeback and everything. But all the good things have to end after that because she starts getting jumped by the Judgment Day. But So Ruka, who was the IC champion, she pops out to stop it. She gets the upper advantage on them. She knocks him outside. Then Soul tries to do a Hurricanrana to Raquel on the outside, but she gets caught. Ragdoll right into the barricade and then slammed in the ring post. That leads to Io Sky in the ring on the rope. You know what that means when you got Liv Morgan involved. Oblivion. Right into some big punches back and forth down on the ground. She say, hey, lift her up. She get the belt. What? Io Sky in the face with the belt. And Liv Morgan is on top with the Judgment Day. So it's looking like Io Sky might be going into the match SummerSlam a little hurt. You know, that leg messed up. So Roxanne did her job. I can't wait to see that match. I think it might be better than their Night of Champions match. So I can't wait for that. Then we get to our next segment, and it is the Vision. We got Braun Breaker, Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and Maxine Dupree. After winning the belts back last week, they're out there, and Logan Paul says, "Give it up for the new champs." Big boos by everybody in the crowd, of course. And he says, also give a shout out to Maxine Dupree, our newest member. More big boos. And Maxine has the mic now. She's going to talk. But Alpha Academy, Akira Tozawa and Otis pop out. And Tozawa, he's nervous. He gets on the mic. He says, Dupree, let's talk privately. And Maxine's like, it's okay, guys. Y'all can leave the ring. So they go on to talk. Akira says, what are you doing? This ain't you, Maxine. And we told you that man Theory, he wrong for you. He not it. And Maxine like, y'all don't even know him. I swear he's good. You don't even know him. Like, guys, I still love y'all, but y'all gave me an ultimatum. And everybody's booing her. They saying, you sold out. You sold out. You sold out. The Otis saying, we told you Theory's bad news. And Maxine, I got something I wanted to say to you. And he's struggling to say it. He like, I got something I want to say to you. And at least the Austin Theory laughed. He said, I know you ain't finna say what I think you finna say. You really trying to tell her about your feelings for a game? He said, come on now. People like you don't end up with people like her. You fat idiot. You stupid. Like, did I also admit you were fat? Otis ain't having. He grabbed that man, lift that man over to the ring. He whooping on that boy, but Braun Breaker get into the ring. He whooping that man, but Tozawa, he there for his man. He jump on Braun Breaker back, put him in a little chokehold situation. Braun gets him off of him. He runs towards Tozawa, but he pulled out on that rope. Braun hit the outside. Tozawa said, "Let me get the little suicide dive," and he jumped. Braun Breaker no sell that thing. He was supposed to catch it, but he dropped him. He picked him up, throw that man over the announce table. That leads them back in the ring. They all jump at Otis. Austin and Braun, they jump in that man, but Otis powers up. He fights back. He clotheslines Braun Breaker over the ring. And now he finna look at Theory in the corner. He finna get active. He get involved. But Maxine Dupree jumps in front of him. Says, "No, Otis, no, don't do this. Don't do this." They turn around. She's like, and she finna pump fake a kiss to that man, but right to the duh. The yam bag. Austin Theory, right to the nuts. And she like, "You really thought you was gonna have me? You really thought you was gonna be a thing? No." That leads to her giving him the brass knuckles. Theory bow with the brass knuckles. He lift him up. So Braun Breaker can get in the ring. He do that big running back and forth, spear around on that man Otis. And the Vision standing tall in the middle of the ring. You gotta feel bad for the Alpha Academy, man. Otis just wanted fine shit, man. That's all he wanted. He got his ass whooped, and he can't get fine shit. What a life. Then after that, the Vision are backstage. They geeked, and they end up seeing Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman congratulates them. He says he's proud of them. He goes on to glaze them individually. You know, he talks about Braun looking strong, Logan healing better than Conor McGregor. That's crazy. Talks about Theory fighting for his woman, you know. And that leads to Theory say, "Hey, so we getting the band back together? You coming back, Paul?" And he says, "Oh yeah, like, but look at Maxine, you know, looking good out here. So what do you need me for?" And walks off. So it's looking like Paul's services with the Vision are going to be over. And then after that, we get a commercial break. And right after the commercial break, we get into a match already happening. So let me tell you guys what happened during the commercial break. For some stupid reason, they have Jimmy Uso doing a promo calling out Solo Sikoa because on last week's SmackDown, they were looking for Solo Sikoa to join back with the Bloodline by the orders of the OTC. And during that, Royce Keys, who's been involved with this on SmackDown, attacks Jimmy Uso. They fight back and forth, and they get into the ring, and that leads to Adam Pearce saying, "Oh, you ain't had enough with last week on, so let's get a match right now going on." So we get back on live after the commercial break with Royce Keys being dominant, beating up on Jimmy Uso. At least Jimmy now on the apron, and that leads to him them doing a rope pull onto Royce Keys, and they going to the top rope and land a big crossbody onto him. That leads to him getting Royce Keys up. He and that man with big chop. But Royce Keys selling all them chops. He tried to Irish whip that man, but come on now. Big clothesline by Royce Keys. He a brick house, man. He swole with it. That leaves Jim trying to fight back, take it to finish. He goes for a kick on the Royce, but he ends up catching the kick. But Jim, smart. Big enziguri off the kick. He goes to the outside, tries to pick up Royce Keys, but Royce Keys fights back, grabs him, spears him into the apron, and then flips him over and spins him over to the announce table. And then he's finna lift him up, but Jimmy pushes him off of him. He tries to fight back over. He tries to run back over to Jim, but Jim picks him up and Samoan drops him into the announce table. And that's how we get to a commercial break. We get back from the commercial break, back in the ring, with Jimmy landing multiple chops on the Royce Keys, and he Irish whips him, and Irish whips Royce, but Royce ends up catching him, hitting him with a big power slam. Then he gets him to the corner, hits him with a big splash, then Irish him to the corner with another big splash. That leads him to him trying to lift up Jimmy, but that gets reversed by Jimmy, and he ends up getting hit with a super kick to the gut, and then with a big uppie. But Royce Keys stops it and hits him with a big sky high, which is basically like similar to a spine buster. But as that's happening, Jacob Fatu is driving into the venue, and as soon as Royce Keys hits that sky high, he goes for the pin, but he kicks out of it, and then Jacob Fatu instantly gets in the ring and starts whooping on Royce Keys. That means it's the end of the match. Our rating for this impromptu match, I guess like a 2-star, because we barely got to see any of it, and it started before we were there. So boo. But that leads to them Fatu whooping on Royce. He gets a chair and he's finna set it up on his head to throw his eye straight onto that man's face. But now Solo Sikoa, the man they're looking for, pops and says, whoa, stop. No more damage. Stop. He don't do that to him. He says, he tells Fatu that he was lost when he left the family, the bloodline, but he always knew at the end of the day that blood is thicker than water, and that he is ready to come back home with the bloodline, and instantly lifts up the one. And that leaves Jimmy saying, hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Jimmy joins along and lifts up the one with him. Jacob like, okay, yes sir. He lifts up the one right there. But as Solo's lifting up the one, he smiles right into a thumb. Spike right onto his brother, Jimmy. And then he leads him hitting multiple punches back and forth on the Fatu. But Fatu fights back out of that, hits him with a big uppercut. But Royce Keys gets back up and then starts fighting him. But as he's fighting him, he gets hit with a big super kick by Jimmy on him. And Fatu gets the tongue and death grip on the Solo. But L.A. Knight, pops up with the steel chair in hand. And he get in that ring and whop that man Fatu in the back. But Fatu said, no, you ain't just hit me with a chair. He tried to no-sell it at first, but LA hit him with his stomach with the chair and whopped that man in the back with the chair. That makes them retreat. They leave the ring. At least LA saying, Fatu, Jimmy, I need y'all in the ring, like, right now. And you know what? Also need your brother. You tell the Yeet Man, Jay, to pop out here, too. He says, I am sick and tired of the bloodline getting involved. And he says, I'm fighting all y'all, and I now realize I don't have to do it all myself. So you know what? I want Royce Keys. Shit, I even want Solo Sikoa versus y'all at SummerSlam. It's looking like they finna be fighting at SummerSlam. Interesting matchup. I hope it's a tornado tag match. I really hope it's not a traditional tag team match for that, because it feels like with this you need to have an actual like fight setting. Like them doing a standard match would not work. I hope it's a tornado tag match. I hope it's a lot of weapons involved, and realistically, I'm gonna assume Solo Sikoa is gonna betray them. He's gonna actually turn over to the bloodline because the bloodline's back. But that is going to be the end of part 1 of this review. Yes, if you're new to the channel, I do these raw recapping reviews in 2 parts. This is part 1, so make sure to click around over here. It should be around the end of this video, the link to part 2. Remember, y'all, Jesus loves you. Watch part 2.